So today I've been working on It Ain't Necessarily So. I've worked through several passages that in the last few days I've been going over because I discovered on Sunday when I ran through everything that there are certain parts that I knew did need correcting, but I needed to run through it just to see which exact parts did need that work on. So as I've been doing over the past few days, I ran through my harmonic section again. This is something that I'm not going to mention as much in videos anymore, because it's just general knowledge that if you have sections like that every single day or most days, you do need to kind of just keep working over. So today I didn't want to overdo it, but I did want to revisit it, so I went over it about 3 times repetitively, just so that I felt that I could get it right that amount of time, so that I'm not fluking it. But I didn't want to overstress my brain with it because I've obviously been quite focused on practicing it over the last few days. I went through another section in this piece that I didn't have circled, but I know can be or has been a bit of a problem in the past, but does seem to have been solved, and I seem to be able to play it quite well now. But I went over it just for my peace of mind. So it's a section with a lot of double stopping, just in a row continuously. So I played through this about 3 times repetitively, and again it was fine. But I just wanted to make sure that I did have that down. And then I went through to the Allegro, which is my most challenging section, and I know that. So I went through this section for like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, so like 8 bars. Run through that like once or twice, and just I have a circled passage within that bit, so I went through over that, and I took this slowly. I didn't go at full speed. I went very slowly through it twice, and these bits I didn't make a mistake going slowly, but it wasn't perfect, and nothing's perfect, but it wasn't like where I wanted it to be even slowly. So I went through this circle passage, and it contained some harmonics and double stopping, so 2 of them were nightmares. So I started off slowly. I then actually went through the second bar of this circled passage, slowly and in rhythm, in a different one to the one I have on page. So da 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 da, and actually on the page it's da 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 dum dum, which is 4 semiquavers and 2 quavers, and I took it in a dotted rhythm instead of having that, which is something that really trains your brain to get the notes and the way it sounds in your head without kind of putting your brain in a stressful situation of trying to get everything right. Because you know, if you're taking a different rhythm, then actually it's not what's on the page, but it's still training your brain in a different way to learn the notes and to learn where you're putting your fingers. So I'll play you this section. I'm not going to play the harmonics because they're not right, and I want to get them to a stage where I feel a bit more confident with them. But I will play you the double stops, the second lot, the circle passage, and I'm going to play them in rhythm that's not on the page first, and then I'll play them on what's on the page, but I will be doing a slow version of each of them. So as you can see, this is the dotted rhythm. And then on the page. So it's a lot of working on where I'm putting my fingers. My brain kind of needs to go fourth finger and then third finger, instead of immediately thinking put fourth finger and third finger down, which isn't the best thing to be doing. Because if you put them both down together, then they all kind of mush into one, and this is a very separate note passage where each note has to be heard, but if you're not careful, they can all slide into one, which will mess up the rhythm and will mess up the notes. And then, of course, you've got the double stop to think about as well as all the other things you think about when you're playing an instrument. But yes, I'll keep working on this section over the next few days, keep perfecting it, using my repetitive, slow and different rhythmical practice as necessary. Possibly bring in a metronome to really remind me of the timing, just so that we're not slipping out of the actual pulse when I'm doing it. And yeah, I'll go over a few more circled passages as well over the next few days. But this is a very big section for me that I need to get right, because it's a very virtuosic section that will really show off my technique. As this is my technical piece, it's essential to get this bit right. That's what I've done today.